This video was made possible with support from viewers like you. If you find this video useful, consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/FastGadgets. Alright iPhone owners, if you don't know already, if you have an older iPhone, apparently they are being slowed down. So this has just come out straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, from Apple. Me personally, I'm not too awful concerned about it, and why they're slowing down the iPhones actually makes sense to me. Now this would be only the older iPhones, so the 6, 6S, the SE, and now the 7 and 7 Plus has been added to that list. You can see by the horrified look here on this chap's face, it's very, very upsetting. Personally, I don't find it that upsetting. Here's the thing, okay? Your phone is going to age. So, unfortunately, that means the battery is going to age. And on an iPhone, of course, we have to, unfortunately, replace the battery the hard way, which means to get this iPhone cracked open and have a new battery put in it. So, the reasoning from Apple behind the slowdown is because of the battery. If the battery becomes older and the processor ramps up and it tries to do something that's processor intensive, it could cause the battery basically to cause damage to the circuitry in the phone, so it cuts out. It literally shuts off. And users have reported that previously. So if we can detect the number of cycles in a battery and how old it's getting and how well of a charge it's holding, why not then throttle the processor to preserve the life that's left of the battery? The answer, of course, is you have to replace the battery if you want the processor to run at full speed. The sad part is they've made these phones so that it's very difficult to get inside the phone and replace the battery. You can send your phone off to Apple for $80 and they'll replace the battery, which I'm really not too excited about. I don't like that idea. And of course, the other thing is you can have a local company do it, but the sad thing about that is when you do that, you're not guaranteeing you're getting an Apple product as far as the battery goes. And quite frankly, you don't know what the quality will be of the battery. Now here I have my Galaxy Note 4. So looking at the back of this particular phone is plastic. Now some people don't like that. But here is the thing. First of all, I don't really care if the phone back is plastic. I don't want it to be glass for sure. Aluminum's fine, but can be a little bit more fragile, but you can have a metal back on a phone that is also removable. So the best thing I like about this phone, removable back. I can pop the battery out, replace the battery, and I'm good to go in a matter of seconds. Usually costs me somewhere between 25 to 35 bucks for a new battery. I really like that. That's a nice feature. Now, the sad thing about this particular Galaxy Note 4, of course, is the processor is a little bit slower, so it doesn't have the speed and the power that it used to have with modern applications running in Android. Now, I have heard from one of my viewers that they put Android 6 on here, and it was considerably faster, so at some point I am going to try that, but for now, I've got the iPhone SE. It's got a newer battery in it, and it's actually doing very well right now. Of course, it's brand new, I should say, because I just bought it a few weeks ago, and this was a new version. But this does basically chime into my thoughts with buying reconditioned Apple phones. My big problem with that is you really don't know how new the battery is when you purchase it. Now, I was looking at a used Apple phone at one point, and I sent a message to the seller on eBay asking, was the battery replaced on this phone? And the seller responded, well, it's refurbished, so it should have been. Should have been is not good enough. I would really have to know whether or not the battery was replaced. That's important to me. So I opted to buy a new one, and I got mine from Metro PCS, and it actually was cheaper than the price on the Apple Store. So I think I made a pretty good deal. So what do you think? Are you concerned about Apple slowing down our iPhones? In my opinion, I think it was a wise move and it's logical. If your phone has an older battery and it's in jeopardy and there's a possibility it could cut out, I hate to say it, that would really annoy me. Now on my Galaxy Note 4, and my wife had a Galaxy, I can't remember which one it was. We did have those problems when the battery got older, that it would cut out, and that was an issue for us. So we would be using it, doing something, and it would get down to about 30%, and it would just cut out and turn off. The worst thing about it is it would keep trying to start over and over and over again until you took the back off and pulled the battery out. You really are in danger of damaging some of the sensitive components inside your smartphone. So to me, this makes more sense. Although, yes, the phone is getting slower, and yes, for right now, you can't take the back off. If we could take the back off and replace the battery, it would be better for the user, but not better for Apple's bottom line. So I think that's why they are not having you be able to get in and take the back off. I hear a lot of talk by YouTubers, especially the ones that are making serious money, that it doesn't have that good feeling in the hand and it doesn't feel like a quality smartphone. But in my opinion, this smartphone here feels just as good in the hand as this one does, and this one's the Apple and this one's the Galaxy Note 4, and this one has the plastic back, and it won't crack or break. So there's something to be said about that. And in my opinion, it still looks just as good as the metal back on this one. I don't like the idea of having glass on the front and the back of the iPhones. That kind of bothers me because I think it, yeah, okay, in some ways it looks nice, but in reality, I'm thinking it's just so easy to break when you drop it. You pretty much must have a case on it because from my experience from students and others that I've talked to, when you drop one of these things, it's going to crack right away. So what benefit is that if you still can't get in to get the battery and replace it quickly and easily? I guess your mileage varies. It depends what you think and what you want. So that's my take on the whole battery thing. I think Apple made a good move by cutting down on the speed of the processor as the battery ages. We get more life out of the iPhone, even though it is a little bit slower. The answer, of course, is get the battery replaced. Could Apple make a change and allow the back to be removable? Yes. Are there waterproof phones where the backs are removable? Yes and yes. I've had a couple. And they're very nice too. Of course, the one I had a plastic back, but I really liked it. I think the strange thing is that for so long, Apple didn't say anything about this policy. It is possibly because they really hadn't made the change until I believe it was 10.2 of iOS. So this is a more recent change, and they're just affecting the change to the 7 and the 7 Plus. And again, I think it is important that you have the use of the phone instead of having it cut out, say when you're making an emergency call or something like that. Curious to hear what you think. Drop me a line, let me know. Like and subscribe, and as always, consider sharing. I always appreciate it when you do. And I'll see you next time on Fast Gadgets.